Man, I love this chair. Makes me feel like a king. Like King Ghidorah. Yeah, I know it's a terrible segue, but something. Okay, so the plot of this movie is that a police detective is assigned to guard a princess, Princess Selena Sano, who's played by Akiko Wakabayashi, who played one of the Bond girls in You Only Live Twice. The reason she has to be guarded is because there's an assassination plot to kill her. As this is going on, a being from Venus, or Mars if you're watching the American re-edit, takes control of her mind and body to basically warn the people of Japan about 3 oncoming disasters. The first one being that the monster Rodan is still alive. So he was thought to be dead with his mate in the film Rodan. The second is that, once again, Godzilla is rising from the ocean to destroy Japan after his embarrassing defeat at the hands of Mothra's larva. And the last one is of a meteor that crashes into Earth that eventually reveals itself to be the space monster named King Ghidorah. And sure enough, all these monsters appear with Godzilla and Rodan basically meeting up near Mount Fuji to fight each other, and King Ghidorah coming out of the meteor to destroy the world. So our heroes find the Mothra twins and ask them if Mothra can basically save them from Ghidorah. They say yes, but she can't do it alone because Mothra is larva form. So basically Mothra goes in to recruit Godzilla and Rodan to help her get rid of Ghidorah. In my Mothra vs. Godzilla review, I mentioned that I don't feel that this is a movie that really is one of the best of the series. If there was any Godzilla movie that I think should be crowned as one of the best of the series, it's this one. This is really one of my favorites in the whole Godzilla series, and surprisingly, one of the few besides the first movie where the human elements actually interest me. I like all the characters, I find them interesting at points. Though they're not as memorable as the monster rumble going on, I still like them and kind of cared for what happens to them as the movie goes along, especially the princess. This movie also gave birth to the monster rumble, which basically meant that more than 2 monsters are fighting in a Godzilla movie. In this case, it's Godzilla, Rodan, Mothra versus King Ghidorah. This is the first time where Godzilla also became a protector of Earth, and music is just as good as ever, and the US version actually is tolerable to watch. Though I still find the Japanese version to be better, the US version actually did some stuff that the Japanese version kind of messed up on. But for example, in the Japanese version, Godzilla and Rodan appear in Yokohama at night. I think that's where they appear. Then the next scene is day, where the princess warns them about King Ghidorah. And then at day, also, Godzilla and Rodan meet at Mount Fuji and they start fighting. Then it's night. Ghidorah comes out of the meteor. Then after Ghidorah's birth, it switches back to day, where where all nearby cities are being warned of Ghidorah's presence. So that's just kind of weird continuity issues. Whereas the US version, it takes if I recall, it takes the Yokohama attack, then is followed by Ghidorah's birth, then of the princess telling everyone that Ghidorah has arrived and is destroying the city, and then it cuts to Godzilla and Rodan meeting at Mount Fuji to fight. So that actually has some things better. They do put in stock music at times for the US version, but it's not enough to where it overshadows Akira Ifukume's score, which is still just as good, which he also gave themes for Rodan and King Ghidorah that are really memorable. So in the end, this was definitely one of my favorites. There were few corny bits involving Godzilla and Rodan when they fight each other, but I think it's one you should see. It's definitely worth seeing in your lifetime, because this was the movie that introduced Godzilla's archenemy. What Venom is to Spider-Man, King Ghidorah is to Godzilla. So, with that said, that has been my review for Ghidorah, the Three-Headed Monster. Again, this is one I think you should definitely see, and I will review the next movie tomorrow. See ya. Bye.